we will see first legal facts, the activity of the cosmos, of the nature that creates the law. Second, legal conceptions. No, this is the activity of the intellect that creates the law. You will find traditions, but many other things that probably you will little by little have a deeper understanding in the career. And finally, for today, we will see some erroneous legal conceptions and how can they operate in the field of the law. So let's begin with legal facts. That is the easiest one, and we will see very fast. So what kind of legal facts can be? I will say that principally two. First one, legal facts related to the human being. So you will ask, how is possible? Yeah, because remember, no? We are talking about actions, activity that creates the law. And we say, well, we are not talking about the acts of the intellect, not the activity of the will, but the activity of the whole body that don't create any, that is not related to the will or to the intellect, create new laws. So the first example is the easiest one, I think so, is this one. A newborn, a new human being, a new human being. Well, you can say, well, there is a kind of a will of the parents. Yeah, but this is a fact considered because many times a newborn, well, it don't depend many times by the will of the parents. And there are parents that want to have a child, they don't have, on the contrary. But obviously, parents have no rights over any person. That is slavery. This is a interpersonal relationship. Not this a right over one thing. No? They have a specific legal position, specific duties, right? But rights in well, to help the other one. But in any case, that is the most typical thing, no? The born of a person as well as the death of a person, of a human being. Both are facts that normally don't depend absolutely by the human will or by the intellect. So, and it's incredible because when one child is born, there will be a lot of new legal relationships at the very beginning of the conception. No? He will have a lot of rights: right to life, right to integrity, right to health, right to nutrition. So many rights from the very first moment of each existence. So you can put the question, when is the beginning of the existence of human being? Well, that is another question. But well, when we realize that here is a new human being, we should approve for that human being the whole rights, no? Because it's not a thing. It's not a thing. It's a person. It's a person. So that is the first idea. So there are legal facts related to human. What kind of legal facts? Those that don't depend on the will nor on the intellect. For example, we say the bond of the people. Second, the death of the people. And then many movements that don't depend of the will of the people, for example, to start. So what many times, or if I'm moving and someone put me some, I don't know, something in my back and I didn't see that, and I caused some kind of harm to a thing, well, to a person, but was not my fault. What it means was not my fault. It don't depend. It doesn't depend on my will. It's not my fault. I never put my will, never put my intellect there. So it's not my fault. That is the idea. So second, this is the first one, but I think that is very easy to understand. Facts that on humans that don't depend on, it's not their fault, or they don't put the will or the intellect. So the second is the most easiest one. The facts of the nature, the activity of the nature. And probably today, the most famous case is this one. You will know for sure what is this, you know perfectly, coronavirus. The coronavirus is incredible because it's a fact that change laws, statutes, regulation, agreement. Even this little guy changed constitutions around the world. Constitutions. It's so difficult to change some kind of the constitutions of the United States. Is so difficult to change because there is no agreement at all today for change the smallest letter of the Constitution of the United States. Instead of that, this small coronavirus virus was able to change many constitutions around the world, laws, agreement, everything. Why? Because facts can change the law. That is the idea, and that's why facts are legal facts. They have consequences on the law. So what kind of consequences? For example, those rules affected by coronavirus. I will put some examples here, so just to show you how it works. So I know some countries, for example, my country, there are others that in their constitutions, they put this clause. There will be no suspensions of public services because everyone has the right to water, to electric power, to the judiciary, to have to feel file someone, sue someone, well, and to hear. So you have recognized by the Constitution a 24/7 service of the public service. Huh? But one day appeared in the year 2020 one small virus changing the Constitution, huh? And was so difficult. In my country, by the way, was so bad at the beginning, so bad. Many people, I remember, every day I heard 5 people, 3 people that passed away because coronavirus in my city, Guayaquil, in South America. So I remember that many times my country appeared in CNN and BBC too, because there were a lot of people trying to bury their family, their siblings, and so on. And they had to do a line, a very long line with the coffins of their parents or the siblings or whatever you want, waiting many hours to reach the cemetery to be able to bury. So it was incredible. It was a lot of people that passed away. So immediately, the government took measures and decided everything is closed, lockdown, and very strong lockdown, because the situation was terrorific. So strong and no public service. Obviously, electricity, yes, but many other things you were not able to receive at that time. These kind of things. No? So, and obviously, the other kind of public service, for example, those given by the judiciary, you will never receive that because of the judge never will work and nobody knows how to work from home. And so a change of the constitution because a little virus shocking a society. No? Place of work. Now is there are many work codes, labor acts around the world that protect the worker. It's a protection. Principally, it's a protection. It's also well, some kind of security for the employer, but it's also principally it's a protection for the worker. That says, well, the worker should go and should have a place to work and should go timely every day. So from that time to that time, if the worker don't go, well, many things can happen, can be fired as well. Well, so for a company that is a little heavy many times, no, because they have to pay, well, a place, furniture, a computer, many things. No? And today, with coronavirus, well, that is not possible many times. No? Now is many times it's easier, but you know, from time to time there's a curfew. There are some measures. Once again, lockdown. So many people began to work at home. But the law says that yes, but there is a virus, and probably many people can pass away if you don't take those measures. So a change of a law, a very protective law for the worker, and even with a lot of consequence, because the worst part normally is for the poor workers, you know, that they have to pay now, well, the furniture, the place to work, the computer, the electric power, restaurant, and many other things that normally the company uses to cover this kind of costs. You can see another example here, the place of work. Let's put another example here, working hours. Working hours, you can see, well, this is normally against the employer in this case, no? Because you say, well, you should work here from 8 to 5, I don't know. And in the middle, well, you can have lunch, no? But what will happen? With coronavirus, well, at home, many people decide, well, nobody is controlling me, so I will do whatever I want. No? And I don't want to work so much today. Many people, most of the times that will happen. No? You see that the level of working of the people is going down generally. In some cases, no. In some cases, the employer will ask many more things because they can not control and they cannot see, and some workers, not all of them, will work much more than 8 hours a day, for example. Seda, do you want to say something, Wellington? No?
No, sorry.
Okay, perfect. So another example, freelance workers. No? So normally, you have an agreement that should be written and should be recognized by some authorities for the workers. No? But if you do everything by internet, there is no need of, and many times it's so difficult to sign an agreement that with one guy that is in another country, that is in, I don't know, in Dubai. No? So there will be no guarantees, no protection, but the public authorities is a freelance. No? So it is against the workers once again. No? The witness testimony by Zoom. It was unbelievable. Unbelievable. 2 years ago, not so far. 2 years ago, to have witness to hear the testimony of any witness around the world by Zoom, because there is a principle of procedural law that says that the judge should see with his her eyes directly the witness or the jury, and in this way he will realize many other things. No? If you have so close the person, you will see if the witness is sweating, is nervous, is shaking in the hands. But if I put my hands here, you will never see what is happening. So there is a principle in procedural law that is the principle of immediation. Usually the judge and the jury should be very close to the witness, so in such a way that they will be able to get a deeper understanding of the reactions of the witness. But with current values, what will happen? You know very well what will happen. Well, it's not possible. We cannot go to the buildings where the judge are, to the judiciary. So at least, well, to continue with the case, let's do everything by Zoom, by internet, no? And now it's incredible because the procedural law says strictly you cannot do that. And around the world is doing, and they are doing whatever they want or they can many times. No? Normally, in many places, it took some months to change the law, and many countries did it. They changed the law, but it's not so easy many times. And many times the judiciary did that before the changing of the law. And now the most interesting thing, no? The agreement, no? Agreement with a construction contract of a big building, and you need to work there every day, and there is deadlines, obviously. No, I will pay you that money, and you have to give me the building at the end of March. No? But with the curfews and measures and things, it was simply impossible. It was simply impossible to do anything. So, so what do we should do? What you should do? It is so clear. Well, ad impossibilia nemo tenetur. You will remember. You will remember. Ad impossibilia, to the impossible things. Nemo. Remember Finding Nemo. Nobody. Tenetur is asked for. You cannot ask for an impossible thing to anyone. So if there is a curfew, well, force majeure. You will say, I'm not responsible. I cannot be liable at the thing that, because it's not my will. That happened with that. And that's why in every agreement is implicitly included a provisional clause that is called the clause rebus sic stantibus. And that is very good to know, because if you have to, probably in your career, you will have to write so many agreements. And it's good to include this clause. But if you don't include this clause, don't worry, because it's implicitly included in every agreement. This clause was developed by the international law, not in private law, but international law at the very beginning. Now it's also in private law. What is about this clause? First, what it means: rebus sic stantibus. Rebus, things. Sicut is it means according the things, according stantibus, as things are. Yeah, the things should be the provisions of the contract should be according to the things as they are now, in a normal way. But if things change so much, well, the agreement is not for that. The agreement is not for that, and probably you have to find another solution. Let's put an example so you can understand better what is the meaning of the clause rebus sic stantibus. In the past, think about 200-300 years ago, there was no photography, no good maps, no satellites. Yeah, so you have no a good understanding of where are the rivers and many things. And for example, after a very big war, one battle, one country won, and the winner will ask, well, let's sign a treaty to put the borders between the two countries now here. Where the borders will be? Well, you have to follow this river, and after that river, you have to follow the top of the mountain, Mount Kenya, and then this another Longonot, and then another mountain, and another mountain, another mountain, and finally Kilimanjaro. That will be the border now after the battle. And both parties signed, put their signature in that treaty, and both finally happy because the border issue was solved. But when they are trying to put in force and to organize everything, and they realize first, they go to the place and there is no river. No, but the treaty says you have the border by the river, but there is no river. And then, well, Mount Kenya, there is Mount Kenya. Longonot, there is Longonot. But the third mountain, well, there is no that mountain. That mountain don't exist. What we will do? What we will do if there is no river, not one of the mountains? Well, clausus, you have to apply the clause rebus sic stantibus. Well, if things are in this way, that will be the border. But if things are in a different way, you cannot apply the agreement. Yeah, can you see? Can you see? So that is quite interesting. No? There are many other clauses that is good to include. Also, force majeure. If something happened and you cannot handle that kind of things, well, you have no liability. Oh wow! I hope that you can hear me, because here now is no electric power. Well, I don't know. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can.
Perfect. In the university now is not electric power. So I'm in the university. So now, perfect. It's coming back. So, any question about the clause rebus sic stantibus? Is very important to know that if you will exercise your profession, this, no, that you have these provisions, even if you don't include expressly in your agreement. No one? Perfect. Let's continue. That could be included in every law, in every treaty, in every agreement, in every legal activity. So, coronavirus. Let's forget coronavirus for a while.